Welcome to the CWC Podcast with your host, David Selby, Justin Reed, and Andy Horton.
All right. Welcome back to the CWC Podcast, your home for the latest news, rumors, and updates in the sport of Chuckwagon racing. My name is David Selby, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Savannah Smith and Andy Horton. This week, we are going to recap the Outlaw Nation State Final Chuckwagon races, and we have some serious news and updates to get to you. It's going to be a great show. Our 2025 race season has come to an end, and we have mixed emotions, maybe call it bittersweet. But we're thankful and we're ready for this break, and we're going to miss our Chuckwagon friends in our community. But we're going to talk about it today on the show here on the CWC Podcast. And while you're at it, get over, check out chuckwagonchannel.com, subscribe, and relive the ride. Season 3 of the Great Wagon Race is right around the corner. That'll be coming out in the first quarter of the year for 2026. It's a perfect time to get the refresh on Season 1 and Season 2 of the Great Wagon Race and just catch up on all the racing action that we had this year. So what's up, guys? How are you today?
I'm feeling refreshed and creatively empowered. What about you guys?
Wow. Yeah, I don't know that I'm feeling refreshed and creatively empowered, but I'm slightly more rested than I was when we got home at like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure you guys got home later than that. Did you drive straight home or?
Yeah, we packed up the camper. I got an interview with it was a very short interview with Chase and Nicole as the sun was just about we were about out of even twilight basically, and then I got on the road and we got home close to 2, and the kids slept probably 2/3 of that maybe. And that was nice. A lot of times I was honestly dreading being in the truck with the kids that long because they weren't feeling good Saturday night in the camper, and that was claustrophobic. Yeah. And then you stick everybody in the truck, and it's just like, oh man, here we go. But yeah, everybody slept. Even Miranda slept. Everybody slept but me. Maybe I took a short little nap there, but don't tell anybody. But it was great. While I was driving, it was a bad joke. It's a terrible joke. Okay, never mind. I wasn't. Yeah. But you know what's even crazier? The whole way home, all I saw was signs of "Don't drive drowsy."
Drowsy. Yes, I saw all those too. I saw more of those than "Don't drive while on your phone."
Yeah, I was just like, okay. Okay, God,
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dad and I got separated right out of the gate. My GPS sent me one way and he went a different way. And so we were on the phone trying to talk each other back together. And then when we kind of got apart again, going through Little Rock, and I was ahead. So I was telling my dad hey, you got to get over in this lane because it's going to peel that lane off and you don't want to be over there and yada, yada, yada.
I know what you're talking about.
He's dragging that big rig, and him getting over a lane in the last second, it's just not an option for him.
Yes.
Especially in the middle of Little Rock. They're not nice when it comes to letting you move.
No. Do you guys do the walkies? Do you do the walkie-talkies?
Yeah, we did the walkies, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're yelling at each other, and then we'll get some on the same channel as some, nice person that wants to give us grief. But yeah, that happened. So I said, hey, where are you? How far behind me are you? And he was like, I'm right behind the sign that says don't drive drowsy. And that was coming out of this side of Little Rock. But yeah, we got to Russellville, I think. And I was out of gas and had to stop, and he could have went on, but he came in. So he was on the radio going, you should have seen this spot that I just got out of because I thought we were going to have to fly this thing out of here. And some random person is on the radio with us. And he's like, yeah, well, and he just starts acting like he's me or whatever and trying to start at it. And dad's falling for it for a minute. And he's just like, shut up. This guy's yeah, he's just playing us. So
Dad, can you give me your credit card information?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I start kind of laughing, because it was just total crosstalk, sabotage. So it was fun.
Well, I'm glad you guys, at least you had something to do.
All right.
I was just
afraid
trying
to
be
tell
quiet.
you guys what time I got home.
What? Well, because you stayed at your folks.
I did.
You stayed and you just flew home. Yeah, at your leisure.
I did. I got home at like 8:30. I was in bed by 9:30. I was up working by 9 a.m. on the road by 3.
That's nice.
It was very nice. So sorry, guys.
Well, that's
You
okay.
got to find your little pit stop. It's halfway.
Yeah, well,
Works great.
when you're pulling all that stuff, like, you know, I'm not running on diesel, and I'm just pulling a Ram 1500, pulling my trailer, and like it was just killing the gas. I mean, I was just getting like 6 miles to the gallon, and
Yeah.
it's just like, man, we're getting gas like every hour. Felt like.
I had the same situation. That Tundra with a production trailer is like 6 miles to gallon. It's I don't know that, but it's got to be something like that. It's terrible. Like,
Yeah.
I filled up in Hamburg the morning that we did, the Sunday morning before the race, and so I left with a full tank and still
Filled up in Hamburger again.
pretty much. Like that's what it felt like. Like I had to fill up twice before I got home. I had to fill up in Okemo, which is like right down the road, because I just wasn't gonna make it.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it sucked.
That's
Well, man, what a weekend. Definitely a heck of a success on many levels, I would say. But I did want to kick off by saying thank you to the Chuckwagon Channel team, and a couple people that aren't on here to speak for themselves. Obviously, Dean Horton, your dad, and Andy, he was stepping up, and he was on the camera up there with the announcers. He was awesome. We had Todd and Lisa Eldred. They were there. They've just kind of become slowly part of our family this year on the Chuckwagon Channel crew, and it's been a lot of fun having those guys around. And Todd is just a massive help, and I'm sure that if I gave Andy the mic for a second, he'd talk volumes about Todd helping out. But they're just awesome, and they ran the switcher and managed the live stream. Andy, I mean, I have to thank you directly, because the amount of tech that you bring, I mean, like you said, your production trailer, that's not something that we have funded through the Chuckwagon channel. That is Andy's passion project, and he has graciously brought that along to our events this year, and he has made a massive impact on our ability to not only capture these races at a high level, but to do the extraordinary and high above and beyond what we would expect with doing production, the production switcher, so that we can actually capture all these things into a board, and to have all of the live feeds coming from a wireless transmission when we're all over the track. I mean, to do all these things technologically, that we would just be nowhere without all that stuff that you've brought along. So thank you. And then of course, Savannah, I mean, this weekend, you're the one that's out on the lonely island over there,
Right.
on the truck at the finish line, having to shoot all that stuff by yourself over there. But so much stuff that you do behind the scenes, and it's really cool to come back from a weekend like that and feel like it was a success, and what a way to finish the year off. So thank you guys.
And I want to throw a shout out to the Freight Train and BS Racing teams for letting me hang out over by their camp and park there next to them and just talking and being nice and loving on the dog. They were a great crew to be around. I was not, in fact, lonely.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. And then we got Jimmy Head's bunch that we
Yes.
went over for their fish fry. Sorry we couldn't stay any longer than we could. We had rodeo, or actually the Battle of the Bulls, kicking off like right in the middle of their fish fry. So we had to pretty much just take a piece of fish and run for our lives.
Yeah, it was like as soon as there was food, we were like, plate gone. See you. I mean,
yeah.
But man, Jimmy's been asking us to get over there and have some food with him. I mean, he's asked us several times this year, and we just never have been able to do it. And so it worked out great. Got a little food, got some good food. I mean, the fish was great.
It was awesome.
Homemade tartar sauce. That was good.
Speaking of fish, that fish that they had at the award ceremony, first of all, thank you guys, Chase, y'all's team, for having that out there for everyone. It was delicious. Oh my goodness. It kept me from having to stop and get something on the way home or pay for a last vendor meal.
Andy, did you miss that one?
I did. I missed out on that. So yeah, I'm like, oh dang.
So good.
I missed it as well. I did get to steal one piece off of Savannah. So.
I know, but it was a packed plate too. Like that was a healthy portion size. They were not skimping on their people.
Nice. It's pretty awesome. So like while we're talking about some of this stuff on the tech end and everything, we did a live stream.
Yeah. First
times. Yeah, we didn't go into the weekend expecting that we were going to do a live stream.
Not at all.
I'm the only person that probably knew that it was maybe a slight possibility. I wasn't really like promoting that necessarily, and I wasn't probably discussing it with anybody on our team, but I did. Like Andy and I were there like Friday afternoon over by the arena, and we were like, Nicole, what would you like to do? And like, do you have anywhere that you'd like to broadcast this? Because we do have a switcher that we're going to send everything into this broadcast switcher, which means that all of our feeds are coming into it.
Yeah.
And that helps us to get a step further along the process of having a finished edit when we leave the race with all the different cuts. And
it's a big step.
And that's really helpful. But we're just one cord away from going out of that into a computer and putting it onto a live stream, which we did that with Facebook. And I thought it went really well. We did have a moment where it went down on the first race day on Saturday. I've had several people reach out and say, hey, what happened? Like, where are the big mules? Which tells me that people are watching it because they watched far enough to go see that there weren't big mules. And I just have to tell people, I'm sorry. We did have it go down. When you're doing a live stream, you cannot have popular music or unlicensed music, or I should say copyrighted music, coming into your feed, because that's being picked up as the live stream is going out on Facebook, and they have to protect themselves and everybody, I guess, by shutting that down, or at least making you aware so that they're not liable. And so if you don't respond to them saying, pop up, you've got popular music copyright flag, if you don't hit OK and resume and take responsibility for it, they shut it down. And so, we were not managing the stream for long enough on Saturday that went unnoticed. And so it shut it down. And then I came back over the trailer and they're like, hey, the stream shut down. I'm like, wow. So I started a new stream, and I just got a new stream going. So, that's why that's cut up and segmented there. We still have it there. So, you can still go watch those things right now. We may end up taking those down. We have not actually dug. We're just now getting back going Tuesday morning, basically. But we'll have to see what all we need to keep an eye on with the music, because we didn't have the music coming into our feed. It was just the fact that the announcers were holding their mics and they're standing near the speakers.
Yeah.
We did isolate just the speakers into our production board. But yeah, when there's nobody talking and there's music blasting out of the speaker next to you, some of that gets in there. So, so anyways, just letting you all know kind of behind the scenes on that. Like it's something that, we want to do that at a high level. And I guess just to talk about it a little bit, it's like, are we going to do this every time?
I don't think Facebook is going to be the long-term answer. I think it was a good, spur of the moment thing to do. Cause like you said, we literally just did not know that we were going to do that. And it was like, hey, we'd like to live stream. And you're like, can we do that? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. I don't know why I can't. But
Darling, baby.
Yeah. Just, we had a trailer full of stuff that had enough stuff in it to do that. And, that's the cool part about having a trailer full of stuff, is you can say yes to some things that, otherwise you couldn't do just on the spur of the moment like that. So that was cool. But I think, there's other platforms I think that could probably even handle the music and all of that. Like, it wouldn't be a big deal, but they all cost money. So
yeah, well, and I'll tell you what.
So if you're watching this and you want to help us out,
well, so Tracy, the sound guy, Tracy, he actually sent me a text message yesterday, and he said, hey, that was cool. I didn't know y'all were live streaming. He said, what I could have done was set you guys up with your own tablet that would have let you control all of your own audio, which I thought was neat. So I guess his system is so good,
wow,
that you can control different outputs on the same channels that are going into other outputs, which is kind of mind blowing to me. Like, I've only ever, worked on basically what is pretty much an analog switcher, and you're manually
Sure.
doing
Yeah.
all these levels. So I thought that was really interesting. So, I mean, the future may be bright for how we do that. I don't know that we'll be doing that at every race because you have to have extra manpower, which means more money. And frankly, one of the pain points for us is, like we want to protect the people that are racing. So like if, let's say, heaven forbid an accident happens or something that we don't want being live streamed happens.
Yeah.
The current software that we're using, which is just plug it and send it out, doesn't give us a way to buffer that. Like we don't have a way to, like cut something out or cut away if it already happened on screen. And so,
Yeah.
that's a software thing. And which equals more money too. So like those are the things that we're going to have to look at as far as how we do that again in the future. Obviously there's other factors, like, what is the Chuckwagon channel for if everything we do goes straight out there, obviously from a business standpoint, we want people to go to the Chuckwagon channel. So, and the races are a big part of that right now. So, but at the same time, we want to create a good product and we want to create something that's, the best product for our end users, as long as it makes sense to us, to keep us afloat financially. If we can find a way to do it, then, I mean, I'm all about that live stream, but yeah, stay tuned on that, guys. We would love to have the feedback from everybody. I have heard good things, but I would love for people to comment and let us know what you think about the live stream. Let us know your ideas too, because, we want to make this better and better as we go. It's worth mentioning the Canadians that came and saw us. Did you guys? So, first thoughts on the Canadians, Laurel and David.
So nice. Very kind people. Great
Awesome.
to get along with.
Yeah. And to say that they got their feet wet is a massive understatement. I think.
Yeah. So
I think there was one vehicle that got rammed out there, and it was theirs.
Yep.
So,
They're the only ones that got it. So
Let's go with the community, guys.
So my new merch today is my Outlaw Nation shirt.
I see that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Sweater.
Oh, well, I'm the only one left out. Okay.
Well, thank you, Clay Robinson. He said that this is my color and that this is what I should get. I said, okay, it's a little pink, but I probably will. You're right, Clay. So I got it. And then on my head right now, I have
it matches Clay's eyes.
Yeah, especially with his party tricks, with his flame throwing party tricks.
Did I miss
and also, it is in the evening. Yeah.
Yeah. So, plug that footage right here, Savannah.
There you go.
Oh,
yeah,
there's
that'll be
footage of this? Okay.
Yes, there is.
Clay making fire. And my hat, it says EPCCA.
Well, I've got one of those.
Mm.
I should have wore that.
Got you a new hat.
Yeah.
So Laurel and David Halderman. So Laurel is, she's basically I hate to give her the wrong title, but she's in charge of like a new business and marketing for the Eastern Professional Chariot and Chuckwagon Association in Canada. They are the largest chariot and chuckwagon association in North America. They have around 100 teams strong, and so they say make sure you keep chariot in there because they have chariots as well.
And if you've seen pictures of, they are exactly what you think they are. Like the little tiny chariots that look like they're that far from the ground. You barely see the wheels. And
they stand up in them? They stand up in them?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like the Russian gladiator chariots, but like look a little more modern. But that same build, that same style, having to stand and be right up on the hind end.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's really neat. So we've been having some conversations, trying to see if there's a way that, they found us online. She found us. Laurel reached out to us, and they're curious to know about maybe a future of working with us, and getting their content onto the Chuckwagon channel. And so, I don't have answers for that right now. I do know that we're doing the research right now to see what's feasible, what we could do. But to bring that much more content and race content to the Chuckwagon channel, I think would be a really good thing. But yeah, there's a lot of discussions going on. She wanted to come down and see what it was all about, see what we're doing, and meet the people. And I just have to say thanks again to all the people that were just so hospitable and so welcoming this weekend. She got to meet, I think the first person she really got to meet was Clay Robinson, who was fantastic. I mean, Clay.
Very welcoming, as he is.
Yes. We're just going to say that. It was welcoming. Welcoming. Ting. And also, she got to meet Brad House, president of the association here. And little did I know, during the races or before the races, I know that Brad went out of his way to introduce Laurel to more people in the association. So that tickled me to death. I'm just really glad that everybody was so welcoming, especially, what are the odds of your rental vehicle being the one that catches a wagon? It's like, welcome to the Arkansas Chuckwagon accident.
Yes. You have now been initiated. Yeah.
Your truck was very nearly the first vehicle to take a wagon team this week.
Don't tell me that.
It's okay. The people in the little tents, the freight train guys, 2 or 3 spots up, ended up,
Yeah.
getting them to mosey on back into the line they needed to be. But all I could think of was, oh God.
I saw one go that way.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Scary stuff.
Here it comes. And you don't realize when you're flying the drone, it's like they can be running at you. And you don't quite register that it's, this is either something important to me or it's me that's about to get ran over.
That guy's going to die. He better look.
Yeah, because to you, like when you're flying, it's like I'm in the air. Like,
Something similar happened at Whiskey Ridge. I think it was Sunday, and I was down almost on that straight stretch where they're running towards me, but I'm off to the side by an orange barrel. So, like, theoretically, they're not going to hit me because I'm not in the orange barrel.
Sure.
Anyways,
they never hit those.
I can't remember if it was a 4-up, a big mule, or a classic team. Like, I'm on the Panasonic and I'm zoomed in and they're getting closer, and I'm just so excited that I'm doing the zoom in, zoom out pan thing so well. And all of a sudden I'm zoomed out as far as I can and they still
there they are.
Like, oh, it's time to move. But for a minute there, I was like, I'm going to die for this shot. Go to the hospital.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of almost close calls, this is not to do with the race, but on the way home, I almost got a deer. Like I had all the brakes locked up, sliding the trailer down the road, and I thought, I got him. Here we go. I was like, this is it. He disappeared underneath my hood, and I was just like, okay, here he comes.
Man.
And he squirted out the side over there, and I don't know how in the world he made it. I don't know how I got around it, but I did.
Jesus.
Man, yeah. I had a close one too. I was hitting the brakes, but I wasn't like sliding, but man, yeah, I had a close one too.
Yeah, I had him locked up.
Okay. Hey, prayers for Jared Wharton and his family, because one person goes down, it affects the people around him as well. So he is currently in the ICU after his outriding accident in the Big Mule Division on Saturday. There is a GoFundMe. We're putting that link in the description down below. So if you've got any ability or willingness or desire to help out at all, it would mean the world to those guys. Please go click on that link and contribute wherever you can to help those guys out as they're going through a tough time.
Thank you, sir.
You betcha. So what were some of your big highlights or key takeaways from the event this weekend? Good things.
Well, I mean, obviously watching Blake Wiles do Blake Wiles things.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what kind of show would we have without Blake?
I mean, we wouldn't have a show. It would just be an old Western film is all it would be. But right.
I ran into Erin and she was like, you guys are making his head so big.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Hey, and speaking of making people's heads big, I mean, who's been pumping up who? I mean, we got a lot of love from the announcers, so really, really awesome job.
Yeah.
That was awesome. He really gave us more love than we deserve.
Yeah.
Him and is it Tyler?
Tyler. Yeah.
Tyler.
He was pretty handsome.
Oh, yeah. Well,
He was a showboater. He was a charismatic. I like it. He was pointing at the drone and interacting with the cameras and stuff. He did a fantastic job. Him and Monkey did actually really good.
Oh yeah, they bantered back and forth off of each other really well.
Yeah, it was a good dynamic between those two. So I really enjoyed that.
So we mentioned Blake Wiles a minute ago. That was the Wild Horse Relay. I did not have the world's best vantage point from where I was at, but from what I got to see through the little holes. It was pretty wild. I could hear, at one point I saw Blake like come down and just get drug for a ways. And then I think I heard on Sunday that he had one, maybe two by the ear.
Yeah.
I believe it was 3 before it was all said and done. Like that dude was getting in there and getting him some. And, and speaking of the Wild Horse Relay, another one that I got to say something about is Matt Howard.
Oh, yeah.
Buddy.
Matt slapped the ground flat on his back hard. I parked the drone right over him because I'm like, is he dead?
Some air. Yeah.
Yeah. He knocked the air out of himself so bad. I watched him on the drone. He like reaches up and like unzips his coat, unzipped his jacket to try to get. It was rough.
God.
There's like an announcer line from the weekend that sticks in my head. It was like all the air in this whole place, and he couldn't get any air.
That was Tyler. Tyler said that. He's like, all this air right here, and he ain't getting any of it. Yeah.
Man.
Then Amanda goes over there. Amanda walks up, and he just like pops up. Like, send us Amanda walks on. I'm like, so she told me that. Yes.
There was a lot happening, and they were really trying to motivate people to get out there and get a part of it. And people like, that doesn't look like a good idea.
That was scary.
And on that Matt Howard ride, I know it was Peaches that was on the rope. I'm pretty sure, and he got pawed like.
Some of those looked rank. I mean, they were reaching out.
Yeah.
I don't want to be anywhere near the front end of that thing.
He got clobbered and stayed in there, like stayed on that rope. I ain't no way. I'd have threw the rope at him. I don't know.
Well, what'd you guys think of the whoop and ride race? Speaking of entertaining show moments.
Yeah. I mean, I think we were a little long on our track for a race like that because those horses were completely done by the time they got to the end of it.
Oh yeah.
But from the ones that actually made it all the way around, it was pretty cool. And who was the older guy that did that?
I know I saw Dwayne.
No, that wasn't. I don't think was Dwayne on the sled.
I swear I could be wrong, but I really think it was. I could be very wrong.
Yeah, I was impressed with some dudes held on that. I was kind of wondering if like maybe those sleds would get hot, like from just rubbing the whole way around, but maybe
I think your hands would just be dead. But I guess if you've got a good grip, you're kind of secure.
I mean, I know how rough that track out there was just riding my little hootie car around. So I can't imagine being dragged on a thin mat. Like that had to be rough.
Oh yeah, that first horse
took some time.
That first horse Saturday was trying to crow hop a little bit, but by the end of the track, it looked like it was trying everything it could to just maintain a long lope.
Right.
He was done.
Yeah, those rubber mats. They're not like, snow sledding out there.
And then again with Blake Wiles, did you guys see him doing all the different maneuvers?
Yeah.
Riding, whipping with his hat, turning around, laying upside down.
That dude, he did all of that. Like, I think before it was all said and done, between the 2 days, it was like 4 or 5 of those horses he got a hold of. Then, he raced in like multiple divisions. He even had youth racers that he rides with his kids that he rode with. Then he comes over when we're all done, and this dude's like walking with a limp, and Dad pulls the trailer out, and he just walks over with a couple other guys and grabs our AW incinerator by the tongue and just picks it up, drags it over to our trailer, and just puts it on there. And I'm like, well, there's Blake Wiles. I heard done Blake Wiles crap.
Yeah,
some corn-fed boy.
They had to. All right, Zane Seals going to have to go and get some more horses because Blake broke all of his horses this weekend. They're all just right. They're all good. They're just good riding horses.
What was that Monkey said? He said you can ride that one in the Grand Entry now.
Yeah. We brought up Dwayne Lamb a minute ago. I got to interview him. He is the driver for the Bar LL race team, Big Mules. He was really humble when it came to how his run went and his livestock, but he had a lot of really nice things to say about Clint Smotherman. He mentioned that we see, our community sees a lot of outriders get a lot of love, but Clint is kind of so humble and, just helping out everybody, that he tends to fly under the radar. Dwayne specifically said that their team would not be where they are now without Clint. And then I got to go over and interview Clint, who was also super humble when it came to talking about himself, but he had a lot of pride when he was talking about his son Bear and all the things that the youth has accomplished this year. And that was a running theme for a lot of the interviews we had. You may have a team that was maybe, in a competitive place because they were competitive, or you have teams that are in a competitive place, but their goal this whole time has been to come out and have a good time and spend time with family and fellowship and, help the kids grow in their own passions. Okay, so speaking of Clint, his Sunday heat for the classics, I'm going to go ahead and paint this picture for you guys. Liv is the cook, Liv Tuttle. She's climbing into the back of the wagon. He thinks she's going to fall out backwards, so he goes to help push her up. When he does this, he kind of throws his timing off when he goes to mount, so his saddle horn ends up just knocking him in the chest pretty hard. He still manages to catch them before they cross the finish line, and then immediately goes over to camp and just doubles over, comes off of his horse. I talked to him. He was okay. It was just a little bit of pain, a little bit of shock, knocked the wind out of him. But the adrenaline was so strong in the moment. He's like, I just had one job to do in that moment. I had to cross the line before the wagon. He's like, I'll deal with the pain after the fact.
Oh, wow. I'll hurt later.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
The Outrider story is such a good one. And in the big mules, we had a pretty fun matchup with a couple of Outlaw teams.
Oh,
that was a lot of fun, a family affair. The Outlaw race at the Outlaw race.
I was just doing all the interviews with all the fun people this weekend. I got to interview the entire Pennington crew, mom, dad, both brothers. And so they had said that this matchup idea first surfaced last year. And to kind of add to the rivalry, JD's team, Outlaws number 2, is running a new pair of mules. So it's a pair of mules that they've started, they've developed, they've worked with all year. The dad is driving their veteran team. So that first level of rivalry is coming between the mule teams themselves, which, if I remember correctly, are also siblings, all 4. Okay. So that was pretty neat. And then you go into the second level of the rivalry. You've got dad driving one team and you've got JD driving the other team with mom cooking. Both days, the races were tight. I mean, it could have been anyone's race right down to the last few yards leading up to the finish line. And being able to capture the reactions after the fact, absolutely priceless. Julia was spraying silly string out on Sunday.
Yeah.
Wade was talking about just how proud he is of his boys and all the work that they put into it. Every positive emotion you can think of, they had. And it was a pretty cool spectacle for us.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a fun one to watch Sunday to see those things get done. Quick shout out, Diamond S's Heat Sunday was one of those. Perfect by the book, perfect to shoot, perfect to watch. Everyone came up to the finish line, balls to the wall, all grouped up, Outriders in place, mules stretched out. Another fun one. Lamont Blankenship outrode bareback as we know he does. His classic run on Sunday was fun to watch. Mounted, caught the wagon before the first turn.
I got to hang out with Kristen for a little bit, and it didn't dawn on me until maybe 5 or 10 minutes into our conversation that she was the one selling that delicious baked bread at the awards banquet last year. I think I left with 3 or 4 loaves. But their team, Half Breed, came in second place for 52-inch ponies this weekend. So, awesome. Super sweet girl. Super sweet team. Really cool to watch Lamont come on and catch that classic team on Sunday.
Bareback.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
We saw a little bit less of him this year. I know he's been busy, but hopefully we see more of him again next year. Speaking of kind of the younger crowd, just some quick call-outs here. Seeing the youth racing in the adult divisions. Jagger Pennington for the Outlaws, Bear Smotherman, Bar LL, and Bad Luck and Trouble. Micah Stamps cooks for Freight Train. Austin Pruitt and Split Decision and Ain't Scared. Exciting stuff.
It is.
Really a good weekend.
It is.
Lots of just, obviously, we're sitting here reminiscing and killing a ton of time on it, but it was a big weekend. It was a great way to end the year, and I think, it goes a little bit without saying how well the event was put on as a first-time event. The Outlaws did a great job.
Absolutely did. I will say, on the youth, just the way that youth race runs, it's a big challenge for me. to try to get the drone back and forth quick enough. I mean, I'm literally just full throttle as hard as I can get back before the next one starts. I really, really wanted to get like a good side-on shot of, is it Micah or Micah? I really wanted it. He asked me to do it, and he actually said something about it, and I just did not quite pull it off. I gave it everything I had. I knew his name was coming up, and I was rolling trying to get down there, and they fired the gun, and off he was, and I was like slamming on the brakes and turning and trying to get it, and I got him in the frame, but I didn't get what I wanted to get of him. So
he's also hard to catch, especially when he's on that road.
Oh, he just left me. He was gone. I was already behind, and it was over. So,
well, we still covered it well, though. I mean, we've got we had your dad on top of the trailer there, and then I was on the ground, and so I think we've got him covered.
Oh yeah. But he actually came to me, and he was like, "You said something about I'll see what I can do," when we were talking about a drone shot, and I was like, "Well, I'll see what I can do." Well, it turns out I wasn't quite fast enough.
Yeah.
So.
But lucky for us, we got a handful of teams next year, or a handful of events next year to try again.
Yeah, I don't think he's done. I think he's just getting started. So we'll see more of him. He's obviously very talented, so should be good. And while we're still doing recalling all of the amazing events, I gotta say something about Battle of the Bulls. That was a whole lot of fun to film, and this makes it more fun when you have good bulls and good riders to film. You know, when everybody's falling off in the gate, it's just not as much fun, and that's not what happened here. We really had a good show. It was really awesome. Had some really good rides and some really good bulls, and a really well lit arena. So it was actually easy to film in that arena. So it was Chase, the Outlaw team, did a fantastic job putting that arena together. They were welding on that thing like the day we got there still. So they really worked hard and worked fast to get it up, and it was awesome. Turned out great.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say that he knows a thing or two about production, and and they had a great production. It was really, really cool. I mean, you can sit here and you can pick apart things about the event just like any event, but you don't go into that. I didn't feel like we were going into that event like, hey, we're, like this is the first event, like the first time they've ever done this, and there's going to be a lot of mistakes. Like, it was a solid weekend. I mean, it was established as a year one thing. It's going to be successful, and that's what we wanted to see. I mean, it's what I was hoping to see. The turnout, the crowd for the races was awesome. I thought the track was well filled in. Yeah, and I think people enjoyed it. Just kudos to everybody that was involved with that production. I thought it was just done at a high level, and even in their concert situation, your people from Malvern, you talk about Todd and Cindy Wheeler letting the lending out their stage again. The stage was great. The setup was good. Actually really liked the way it was set up for the most part. Jared Morris was awesome, and it was I
knew he was going to be.
It was very cold. It was very cold out there, but but like there were some fires and stuff, some fire pits, and it was honestly a fairly small crowd for that performance. The weather probably didn't help that, with it being chilly and people just being maybe kind of done at the end of a big day on a Saturday, but that did not take away from the performance. Jared Morris, I mean, I got to give that guy a nod of the cap, because we were standing up front. Miranda and I were standing up there and just taking in a little bit of music, and he played a Marty Robbins song, and then and Miranda's like, man, I would love it if he would play
El Paso,
and I was like, he finishes his song like, play El Paso, that guy, that's me in the crowd, and he's like, okay, and he went right into it, and he killed it. I mean, he killed it. It was so good. So
you do that hands thing again?
It was so good, dude. Awesome. And melted faces, and it was really great. So he made a new fan. I will say he earned it. So, well, let's get into these results. We're gonna hit on the results from the weekend, and then we're gonna follow it up with the final standings to our understanding. what was passed along in the basically in the day following. So if anything isn't right, we apologize. We are kind of pushing this out there as quickly as we could. So let's get into it here. Big Horse Rubber Tire, 3rd place on the weekend. Flatlanders, 2nd place was Freight Train, and 1st place with a time of 52:07. Surprise, it's County Line Bunch, and that was Dawson Granberry also getting just that much closer to catching up, but it was Freight Train on the year with the 1st place in the standings with 107 points. 2nd place, County Line Bunch, there's Dawson Granberry. 3rd place, BS Racing with 84. And what's the note here, Savannah?
If you guys remember, a few races back, Dawson was in an arm sling. I can't remember if it was a shoulder, arm, or an elbow injury, but I do remember it happened coming out of a wagon at a different race. It was nice to see him back in the driver's seat. I know that win this weekend, that Outlaw Nation belt buckle just feels that much better knowing that he got to be the one driving the team when it happened. And I do know their goal was 1st place in state finals, but coming in 2nd for a rookie team, I still think is nothing to shake your head at. I think that's a feat in and of itself.
Yeah.
So congratulations, guys.
Excited to see him go and work and get it, next year. All right.
46-inch mules. 3rd place, we have Don't Listen. 2nd place, we have Ain't Scared. And 1st place is Hickory Plains Outlaws with a 52:54. Which, not surprising that they came in 1st place by any means. I know when they run, they're pretty consistent.
Yeah.
For the final point standing, so this goes down to, year-end totals. For 46-inch mules, 1st place, we have Ain't Scared with 114. 2nd place, Hickory Plains Outlaws with 102. And 3rd place, Trump Train with a 59. And Trump Train didn't even have to show up this weekend in order to place. I think they felt like they were sitting pretty secure and they chanced it, and they're still going to leave with a year-end buckle.
Absolutely. All right. Now we got 46-inch ponies. 3rd place was Freight Train. 2nd place was Split Decision. And 1st place was Derek Hands, which, I mean, if you follow this stuff, you know that Derek Hands is always right there. I mean, they're quick. Year-end final point standings for 46-inch ponies was the Outlaws in 1st place with 117. That's a pretty big lead, actually. 2nd place, Freight Train with 97, and 3rd place was Hells Bells Hot Flash with 85.
Man, and an honorable mention, I'm pulling up the other sheet here that goes a little more in depth. Just behind them, Derek Hands with 83 points. So, we had some close ones going into this, and we were talking last week about some of these teams that are really competing for a 2nd or a 3rd place buckle, and the way that shook out, worked out for Hells Bells Hot Flash to hang on to that. So, congrats, guys. We'll get your year-end buckle in January.
Heading into
right? Is that right? 52-inch ponies. Is that where we're at? 52-inch ponies. 3rd place, Outlaws this weekend. 2nd place, Half Breed. And 1st place, Derek Hands. And, man, they were zipping around the track. They ran a 41:62. They were flying. The final standings on the year, we knew nobody could catch the Outlaws. And if you ask me, they kind of knew that too. They were not in a big hurry to go and get into a tizzy when they were running, but the Outlaws are 1st with 105 points on the year. 2nd place, Derek Hands with 84. 3rd place, D&D Farms with 61 points there. So congratulations, Outlaws.
Heck yeah. 52-inch mules, we only have 2 places. We've got Hickory Plains Outlaw in 2nd place, and Buckeye Bandit is taking 1st with a 45-14. When you go look at the year-end point standings, you have Hickory Plains Outlaws coming in 1st with a 91. Coming Undone is coming in 2nd with an 83. 3rd place is Trump Train with 62. And then I went ahead and added 4th place, even though there's only 3 whole buckles. BS Racing, 53. Those are the only teams that met the 5 out of 10 qualifying rule. So it looks like it's just those 4 holes.
All right. Here's buckboard. I don't know. One of my 2 favorite divisions, I think. Everybody likes classics. I think classics are awesome, but buckboard is awesome, I think. Third place, Raring to Go. Second place, Full Throttle Loca. First place, Full House. What a familiar looking leaderboard. And year-end final point standings. First place, Full Throttle Loca, 116. Second place, Full House with 107. Third place, Raring to Go, 93. And we've got fourth in there, Freight Train with a 90. What have you got for a note there, Savannah? What is that?
So Raring to Go and Freight Train, same camp, I believe some same family members, or at least husband-wife duo. So it is no surprise to me that they are coming in crazy close and also at the top of the leaderboard. I feel like they run together, they work together, they're all pretty dedicated. So it's pretty neat to see it all pan out that way in the end,
Yep, that's pretty good stuff.
My other favorite division.
Big Mules.
The Big Mules. Man. All right. So third place, Mama Tried, 56.67. Second place, Diamond S Express, 56.42. So just nudged them, just edged them rather. And then first place, Too Stupid to Stop, 55.54. So they went out there and made a big showing with Too Stupid to Stop. The final point standings in the Big Mules, they get it by 1 point.
Wow.
Sue's Pawn with a 95, and second place is Diamond S with a 94, and then third place is the Outlaws number 2 with an 80. And so if we go back over and we look at the Big Mules, that was coming into the weekend. That was a really close one, and so you look at Sue's Pawn and Diamond S. So Sue's Pawn, let me look at this a little bit more closely. So they ended up getting 12 points on the weekend. So they were in that fourth place. Yeah, I mean, we talked about teams coming in and knocking each other down. Had Diamond S gotten first place on the weekend, if they could have knocked off Too Stupid to Stop, that would have given them the point that they needed to get that first place tie. So, that was one of those that boiled right down to the end. And man, I hope it keeps everybody hungry. Diamond S, stay hungry, man. Stay hungry, you guys. You looked good all year long. And really, I think that the Sue's Pawn story, so much of it is their consistency. They came and raced. They missed 2 races on the year. So that means that they traveled to 8 races. I mean, and they weren't putting up necessarily 15s. They won 1 buckle on the season. So that just shows that they were consistent, and that's a big part of, a long season. So congratulations, Sue's Pawn. That's pretty awesome. I know that they worked hard for it. Okay. So, last but not least, Savannah.
We've got the Classic Division. Third place, Lucky G takes it. Second place is BS Racing. And first place is Derek Hands with a 50.6. This was actually that heat we mentioned earlier where Lamont rode bareback and, very quickly caught the wagon and then just put distance.
Yeah.
Final point standings, we've got BS Racing taking first with a 104. Second place is County Line Bunch with a 99. Third place is Lucky G with 55, and Flatlanders just behind them in fourth with a 52. Man, again, we only get, top 3 get a buckle, but it's still pretty interesting to see just how close that fourth place spot can be.
Yeah, and if I remember right, coming into this race, man, I'd have to back up and look at this, but I don't know if you can find last week, Savannah, but we were looking at these points coming in, and County Line Bunch, they did not post a qualified time this weekend, so they ended up taking a 5, and we were saying they were 15s or they were 5s at the races that they went to, and so I could be wrong here, but I think that took them out of the title spot, because they would have taken a 5, and they would have already had 2 5s.
Let's go back and double check.
They had 1, 2, 3, 4 now 5s on the season, so they lose it.
No, I'm wrong. We gotta redo this section. Did I?
Okay.
Hold on.
I don't think you're wrong.
Am I wrong?
No, so
Okay, no, my point.
yeah, no, so if you look at last week, yeah, I'm pretty sure that County Line Bunch, I think that I'm saying this right. I think that they had a 4-point lead going into this week. And so
Yeah, so it looks like prior to dropping the two lowest, County Line Bunch was sitting with a 104, BS Racing at 95. But when you do their actual calculation, dropping those lowest, you've got County Line Bunch with a 94, BS Racing sitting at a 90. So they were just right there.
Yep. So if you look at what happened, I guess this is important to me. So if you look at what happened under a microscope, you see that you've got a team, County Line Bunch, that they don't go out there and race for the points necessarily. They are going out there and they are racing to win. And so, you talk about
5s and 15s to prove it.
Yep. And they did have one second place run in there, and I think that was probably a loss to BS Racing one time, and that was at Loretta Lynn's. And so one of those small tracks, that if you got the inside, it definitely benefits you. But yeah, I mean, so kudos to County Line Bunch and BS Racing. They've been a lot of fun to watch all season long. But also kudos again to County Line Bunch for not holding back and mailing it in, as they say, as they could have done this weekend. So had they gone out there and just posted, just got the outrider, if they would have pulled up, got the outrider, they would have had enough points probably to sit up there still. So, they took the hit on the points, took the hit on the season, and they are aware of that. So we'll see them at the January meeting. And, I hope that a rivalry grows around this thing, man. I hope that it just continues next year. But I know that it's yet to be determined. So don't miss in January. So we'll jump into the youth here before it's all said and done. I don't have the season point final totals for kids. Sorry about that, youth, but we are going to read off the top 3 from this weekend. So go ahead, Andy, if you want to kick it off.
All right. Youth Mules 8 and under. Got third place, Wade Wiles. Second place, Waylon Roughton. And first place, Corbin Myatt.
Youth Mules 9 to 14. We only had 2 places here. Second place, Austin Pruitt, 13:21. First place, Levi Lehman at 11.60.
Youth Ponies 8 and under. Third place is Catch Wiles. Second place is Wade Nutt. And first place is Delilah Nutt. Ooh, and first and second place were really close. Delilah had a 9.32, and Wade came in right behind her with a 9.63.
0.3 seconds. Wow.
Yeah.
Good job.
Even the third place wasn't far behind them. Youth Ponies 9 to 14. Third place, got JD Bradley with Outlaw Stampede. Second place, Levi Lehman with Going Nuts. And first place, Ellison Whitworth with Derek Hands with a 9.27. That's smoking.
Oh, he was flying.
Hope less than that. Those are really close too. You've got 9.27 followed by 9.38 followed by 9.97.
7.5.
7.5.
Youth Outriders 8 and under. Third place, Jagger Pennington, 8.44. Second place, Clay Whitworth, 7.12. And first place just gets Clay here. It's Tulsa Nutt with a 7.06. Congratulations, Tulsa.
We're getting closer and closer to having more ties for the youth.
Mm-hmm.
I know, right? Youth Outriders 9 to 14. Third place, Austin Pruitt, 7.29. Second place, Micah Stamps with 7.28. First place, Bear Smotherman with a 7.23. All 7.2s, guys. Yes.
Bless.
Hundreds of seconds apart.
Bless those timers.
Yep.
Oh,
Bless
absolutely.
those timers.
Yep, those guys are on it. That's pretty awesome. Well, that about wraps it up for everything today. It's just cool to look back and see this year. I'm sure that we'll be reminiscing for a while to come, and on a future episode here, we'll go ahead and we'll get those youth season finishers. We'll get that on here as well. But just another reason to be around next week. So appreciate everybody that stuck around this long on the show. We had a big time there at the Outlaw Nation Chuckwagon races. Looking forward to lots of good years down there coming up. And again, kudos to what Chase and his wife Nicole do, and everything that they're doing to make that race a success. I think it really, it's awesome to see that for the association, but it's awesome to see that for the sport, to have somebody like Chase, who's in the professional bull riding realm, put on a production like they did. And I just think that the future is bright for that event.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts there for you guys?
I don't think so. Other than I am a little sad. It was our last race. It kind of hit me as I was leaving out Sunday. I was like,
Yeah.
it's tiring. And the moment, like, when you're in the middle of the season, you're like, okay, I can't wait to catch a breather. But then it gets here and you realize, man, like all these friendships and relationships and just this environment,
Right.
you don't get it until next spring.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And
Mhm.
I mean, I guess final thoughts on this race in particular is like, we've seen over the years, we've been there for firsts for a lot of places that got started, and we saw how they started, and some of them have really grown up already, and they're huge now. But when we saw that first race, like it was kind of, it was a first race.
Yeah.
And this one was did not feel like a first race. It just it did not feel like that at all. It felt well put together. This was a really cool event. I looked over at Todd at one point and I was like, you remember the first race that you guys had at Baker's Spain, And he was like, yeah, man. He's like, these guys did a fantastic job on the first go at this.
Yep.
So it was really cool.
Good vendors too. Nice vendor row, the way they set up their vendors and everything over there.
Yeah.
They went above and beyond. And I will say, like, we were there to shoot and we were there to work. And still, anytime I needed anything or had a question or anything, Nicole, I mean, she was just on it, like, I don't know. I have to commend those guys. It takes there's a lot of things that go into being, to be able to serve, and they did that at a high level, like Nicole, like, yeah, it's their event. It's on their property. Like they're on a pedestal, et cetera, et cetera. She was there and she was serving people. And that just says a lot. So, appreciate those guys. But yeah, again, get over, subscribe, relive the ride at chuckwagonchannel.com. Lots going on. We will have the state finals on there soon. And as well as season 3 of the Great Wagon Race. So we'll have a lot to talk about going forward. We've got some good guests that'll be coming up in the weeks ahead. So make sure that you are still tuned in. It's a great time to be a fan of wagon racing. So have a great weekend, and we will see you out on the track.
Thanks for listening to the CWC Podcast.